I walk into Matt's little cubicle, right?
My zone.
And he's got 3 screens up, and it's got a T-shirt design. It's got a new, magazine ad.
We
it's
won't
got
tell you what else is on the 3rd screen.
It
you
might
don't
be.
wanna
It
know
might
right
be
there.
Pornhub.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here we are with Chad Hall. We're doing another episode of Diesel Discussion. We're here at St. Anthony Sand Dunes, just hanging out. We decided to get together as,
Yeah.
friends
Yeah. Absolutely.
and just hang out, do some razor riding at the dunes,
Razor riding, razor rolling, a little bit of everything.
razor rolling.
Razor jumping. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've
I
done.
guess nobody
We've done.
right
We've
here
done.
did any
We've done.
rolling,
Yeah, we've
but-
done quite a bit of stuff today.
Yeah, it's been great.
Can't really say
Yesterday,
just
last night,
razors.
went on a night ride. That was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna do another
but
one.
I guess Matt's the odd one out with the X3. But
He is. I know. It's like a whole Polaris camp, right? Like the whole camp is just straight XPs, and we got one X3. You know what I mean?
Old Matt that rolls through in the
Yeah.
next 3, yeah.
Yeah.
sounds
But it,
good. Though.
it
impressive,
rips
though.
pretty good. Like
It does.
you look at that deviant exhaust, right? Like that thing is nasty.
Yeah,
It sounds good.
It does.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
I like
It's
it
got
a
an
lot.
industrial turbo on it. You guys,
Yeah.
you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's actually pretty badass. So we take the factory charger,
Yeah.
pull the guts out of it, and then we use a bigger billet compressor wheel on
Uh-huh.
it. And the inducer size isn't a lot bigger when you think of like a diesel turbocharger. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
4 or 5 millimeters bigger doesn't sound that big, but on a turbo that's only like 25 millimeters big to
Uh-huh.
begin with,
Yeah.
you add another.
Well, it's
four-
freaking tiny.
Yeah,
I mean, you
exactly.
look at that. The freaking inducer is tiny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you put
right?
that thing next to like a 467.
Yeah.
You know, that you put on any 67, and I mean the 67 could
it's
suck
3
that
cylinders,
thing in.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do with it? You
Yeah,
know?
and so it's 4 or 5 millimeters bigger on the
Uh-huh.
on the inducer side,
Right.
But the exducer side's like 8 millimeters bigger.
Oh, wow.
And so it's
Yeah.
like it's a pretty impressive difference between the two. And I mean, we saw that yesterday with you two.
Yeah.
Racing up San Man.
That's
You got
absolutely-
that brand new
Yeah. The
Turbo S.
Turbo S. Yeah.
And I mean the stock X3 and the Turbo S are pretty comparable
Yeah,
power
absolutely.
wise.
He pulled me by like a car and a half by
yeah.
the top of the hill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
just
Here's
substantial.
a stock turbo.
It's stock turbo, stock tuning. Just has a deviant intake on it, the intake elbow, and
the
that's
exhaust.
it. The exhaust, yeah.
and that exhaust you guys built for those is badass.
It actually works really good. We use a MagnaFlow muffler on it. And Jared Chavez sent us one. He's like, hey, this is the thing you should use. Put it on. It sounds great. It's got the dual X's
It
on
does,
it.
sounds
It's pretty
good.
cool, yeah.
It's got the
Sounds
dual
really
exit, and then the
Yeah.
I'm guessing the deviant plate that you guys put over that's just a
Just an add-on, yeah.
just an add-on, just a like water jetted out or
Yeah,
or,
exactly. Yeah, we have a water jetted bent, and then we have some tabs that are pressed into the actual metal of it, and then we're able to attach it to the muffler itself. So
Yeah,
it
it's
works
beautiful.
pretty good. Yeah, it looks good, sounds good. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah,
It's a new
badass.
product line that we're
So far,
we're
we've
working
had-
on really good. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, we've had a great time. I mean, one little tip over.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, if he'd stop rolling the razor over,
I
and
know, right?
smashing speakers and
Blowing out windshields
light
and
bars
We won't
and
say who it
windows and yeah, I'm just gonna say he. It was a Williams.
shit. It was a Williams.
It was a Williams.
Yes.
But yeah, he had to crawl back to camp, tail between his legs the whole time.
With a bed full
Yeah,
of stuff off of his car.
just shit everywhere. Yeah, it's like we didn't even get like what was it like?
It was 2
It was
minutes.
literally two. We
so
went through the whoops out of the campground. We got up onto the first top mound, and that was it. He like
If
If
you
you
get
get
to the top-
outside
No,
and
he's
stand
like-
on top of this trailer,
yeah,
you can see
like
where
you could
we were.
see where he rolled that
Yeah.
shit. That was funny.
I mean, it's close enough that from the top of this trailer, you could make out his face.
100%.
Who
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. It was a Williams. We're not going to say who it was. A Williams boy did it. It was funny watching them hang upside down in the car with their 5 points on. Just like, what am I doing? This is weird.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun.
Yeah.
It tipped over pretty easy though.
It did.
Back
Like
over.
I
back
knew it
over.
too because I was right behind him, and he tried to high side the thing, like just get the ass end to come around, you know. I just saw him, was like, oh, dug in, and like boom, right up on top of the lid. It was like upside down. Those guys just hanging out.
Yeah.
Coolers of shit falling everywhere.
There's a speaker on the ground.
Speaker on the
glass
ground.
windshield's
Yeah.
on the ground.
It's like, but he didn't break anything. Which like,
No.
no plastics broke.
No.
Cage is good.
Yeah,
like
it's
nothing
money,
broke.
but-
It was just light bar and a speaker.
and the
The
bikini
whip
top or
too.
whatever.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It broke the flag off
Yeah,
too.
the flag broke in half,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
It was pretty good though.
Well, we always have a good time when
Yeah.
we're hanging out with you guys, though.
Hell yes.
Right?
That was
Yeah.
yeah. It's good. No injuries, nothing.
Yeah,
so
nobody
far.
got hurt, yeah.
I mean, my back's a little bit sore because I was sitting in the back seat with Sterling was balls to the wall on the whoops, and I was holding on as tight as I could. The
He's
back
like,
seat was just
Dude.
It's not
So
the
I'm,
place to
I'm
be
in
on
the
the
front
whoops.
driving, and just foot to the floor. Cody is in the passenger seat, yelling, "Oh God damn it!" He's got a drink in his
Soda.
hand.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a soda in his hand, and he's holding it up, and it's splashing out everywhere. He's yelling at me. Scott's in the back yelling at me. I'm just laughing in the front.
Yeah,
you know,
we're just
it's
like, "Wah!" down
I
the,
thought for
the
sure,
whoop
it
section.
was
Yeah.
great.
I thought for sure one of my discs were gonna blow. I was just holding on as tight as I could, and tensing
back
up
seat
all
does
my
suck.
muscles.
It does suck.
does
Like, it doesn't matter what backseat you're ever in, they all suck. Let's be honest, right?
It's
You could be in a
unfortunate.
Platinum Ford, a frickin' Denali, you could be in a frickin'
Razor,
whatever,
it doesn't matter
whatever
what it is.
Ram, whatever. You know, like it sucks.
Hey, I'm
in
not
the backseat,
complaining.
right?
Though. I'm having a good time. It was fun. It was just a little.
You should have
jarring,
seen
little
Jason. We
jarring
got
for
back
sure.
from the last ride we were on, and we were hitting the whoop section about 65-ish, I would say. We were like, I was wide open, pinned. And he came back, and he got out of the car, and his face is just like green. Looked like he wanted to puke. He's like, I think I got a little motion sickness. This is weird.
He
I
told
don't
me he
get.
thought he drank too much sugar soda.
Yeah, it's something weird.
Sugary.
I think it
just
might have had
caused
something to do with the rum that was in that mixture of drinks that he was
Yes.
partaking in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
He said he didn't
I'm
feel
feeling that
too well.
massager over here.
Did you feel that?
Yeah, keep it rolling.
Dude, we're in the
Heated seats.
this is Cody's
massager.
trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's got heated seats, which are on right now, which are
Amazing.
But the
'Cause it's only like
massage-
35 degrees
It is
outside.
pretty chilly.
it is cold out,
wet.
right? We have 3 fire pits outside burning with wood from North Idaho right now. My father-in-law graciously donated to the cause, which is pretty cool.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
I thought it smelled like Northern Idaho.
it
fire.
does.
It
I mean,
does, yeah.
well,
It is. Smells like a beer mosa is what it,
it
smells
does.
like.
A bit. Fucking beer mosas are amazing. Have you had one? It's
No,
orange juice.
That
and
does
Coors
not
Light.
sound good.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
You'll
there's
have
no
one
way
tomorrow. You'll
that's
have
good.
one tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
we'll,
no way.
We'll,
I can
we'll
have one
Spectacular. Let's.
But there's no way it's good.
good might be a stretch. It's drinkable.
No, it's great. They're spectacular. If you haven't had one, you got to have one.
Is that a
It's
Coeur d'Alene
OJ.
thing or what?
No, ask the Husker boys.
Is that where
Jess
you got it?
Husker, but he drinks Busch Light
Oh.
and OJ. Yeah, it's usually in the front of his little Kubota with a
Yeah.
cooler in the front that looks like a hanging weight, full of that, and then he's got OJ in there. So that's like our drink.
Oh.
So we ever show up and it's a beer mosa.
Beer mosa.
This does not sound
So,
good.
or as we call it, an orange beer.
I'm gonna be honest about the only time I drink them is at the day before your guys'
Yeah.
dyno event.
Yeah.
At the golf tournament
Yeah.
that we do the day before.
Yeah.
Which they're amazing for the golf tournament. I don't know why. I like the shit out of them at the golf tournament, but if I try to drink one on a Tuesday, I'm like, fuck.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Maybe I just need Chad Hall around.
Maybe. I mean,
that's
it's-
what it is. It's the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's
It's an
what it is.
atmosphere
Yeah,
drink. That's
100%.
what it is.
Yeah, I
Yes.
like that.
It's an atmosphere drink.
So
Yeah.
segue a little bit. Tell me a little bit how you started Alligator Performance
So
and why.
I had kind of always had a passion for automotive, specifically trucks. From the time I was 3 years old, I could name every semi on the road. Kenworth, Peterbilt, White, whatever it was, right? And ever since then, I just loved trucks. And it was about 2005. I was living in Las Vegas, and my wife and I decided we wanted to start a company of some sort. We'd tried 5 or 6 before that, and I wanted to do something that was my passion. And she 100% supported it. My ex-wife now, Jamie Kemish, and she was just awesome to do the whole thing. She's like, "Hey, let's do this. I'll set it up. We're gonna figure this out." And so, I'd met a couple of guys from Bully Dog at one point, and this was 2005. This is the try before you buy time, which is kind of cool, where you could load a program in somebody's truck and it'd give them 100 horsepower, and 2 days later, 100 miles, it'd like go back to stock. It's almost like selling crack cocaine, if you want to be honest, right?
Right.
It was like, you gave me that hit, and it was awesome, but I don't have it
Want it
anymore. I
again.
want some more.
Yeah.
So I had hit up a friend of mine and got set up with Bully Dog and started selling Bully Dog. And it was literally out of the back of my pickup. So I'd pull up at a Terrible Herbs gas station in Las Vegas, and I'd talk to some dudes at a gas station filling up at the diesel pump. Like, "Hey, you guys want to try some horsepower?"
Just like a crack dealer.
Right? It was like a
Yeah,
crack dealer,
He was
right?
a crack dealer.
And about a month later, we'd been working on getting a shop at the same time, and me and my little brother Chris Hall, he had a company he was starting at the same time, Fat Boy Customs, and so we went in on a shop together, and we did that for a year and a half or so, and it was kind of cool. So Jamie had just had, I think, my youngest boy, Josh. So she was at home doing the books, doing her own thing. She had her own accounting company. And I really wanted to do this diesel thing. And so we opened the shop and started working on trucks. And previous to that, I'd worked at another company in the construction world that had done, we did all the maintenance on the vehicles in the shop. And those guys, like the Super Chips Gold, and they had ATS exhaust, like the original ATS from Salt Lake,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we were doing all that stuff in the shop and working on their vehicles, and I saw how much horsepower they made, and it was like cool, you know? And 2005 wasn't like a huge time for diesel. It was like
No.
the beginnings of
That's
the
what's
performance
interesting
industry,
to
right?
me. Like,
And
you started pretty early.
yeah,
I don't know if many people, maybe they.
well,
do know,
yeah,
but
there were several, XDP, Thoroughbred. There was several companies that had started previous to that, which are great companies, and they're still around and do a great job, and I'm friends with all of them, which is really cool, so watching those guys do their thing, and it's like, I can do this. So, like, there's no reason, so we started our shop, hired my first 2 people, started doing installs, and then we have a guest. Who's coming in?
We got a guest.
Cody.
Cody, get on
Cody,
in here.
what's up, man? Sit down.
Well, how are you? Hey, bud.
Yeah.
What's up, pal? How you doing?
Oh, just
Nice to see you.
playing some cornhole,
Yeah.
Did you
We got a
Did you win?
guest speaker here.
Yeah. It's Cody,
Cody
Williams.
from Industrial.
All right.
It was not Cody that rolled the razor, by the way, so
No, that was
figure
his.
it
So
out.
that narrows
Oh,
it. That was
oh.
he threw it
Oh,
out.
he spilled the beans.
So, anyways, we kind of opened up our shop, started doing work on trucks, injectors, turbos, a lot of tuning, a lot of exhaust work, that kind of stuff, and had our first website open up in 2006, and that was kind of like the opening of our company. And oddly enough, I'm still in contact with the first customer that ever bought anything online from us.
Really?
Yeah, which is
That's
pretty cool, right?
That is
So we
cool.
still buy stuff from us. We still do business with them. That was the first customer that ever ordered online, order number 0001,
Nice.
right?
That's
so
cool.
that's cool.
Did you give him a plaque?
I should.
You
You should
should.
make a
Yeah, that'd be cool. Customer number 1. Right?
Number one.
That'd be badass.
Donnie Meyer, that's the guy's
You'd have a
name.
custom-
He
I
owns
mean,
shout out to
he
Donnie.
actually he owns a custom bus shop in Florida. So he customizes big coaches. So a lot of guys will have a coach for 5 or 6 years, and they do a retrofit. So they'll go in and do all of the custom work on the coaches. It's like they have a 6-year-old TV, or they have couches that are just whatever. He top to bottom does
Basically,
it all.
it's full
really
remodel
cool. Absolutely,
of the
yeah.
coach. Okay.
And a lot of guys, they still have like a 2006 coach because they don't want to buy the stuff with the def and EGR and all the bullshit. And so they'll keep
Bullshit?
this. Yeah, it's bullshit, 100%.
A lot of that, that's all they need though to restore them back to, someone actually wants to purchase that.
Yeah,
Right.
They're still in good running condition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those
niceties
engines
of
run
a new
forever.
one.
A lot of them are low miles.
Absolutely, they don't have 500,000-600,000 miles on them where you need to do in frames and all the other stuff on them. Full
Really,
rebuilds.
Really, they probably have 50, 60,000
Yeah,
miles
a lot
on
of them do. Yeah, 100%. So, anyways, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Being able to do business with him. We have thousands and thousands of customers across the country now. Actually, we've sold to every continent except for the poles, right?
Yeah.
So, we've got customers in. We have Dubai and
It's
freaking
worldwide.
sold to China. We've
Literally
sold to
everywhere.
got customers in Russia, Africa, freaking a lot of customers in Australia, which is kind of neat, like how a small brand can become worldwide,
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So what are those markets reaching out to you for mostly? Foreign markets?
Replacement parts a lot of times. So a guy imports a truck from the U.S. and he's got 200,000 miles on it. Needs a set of injectors. Your guys' injectors, to those markets before. We had a guy in Africa. We sold a set of 6.5 injectors to. He had a turbo diesel.
Holden,
6.5.
Holden has a guy. Your sales guy, Holden.
Uh-huh.
He's got a guy in it's Rudd or Rude Visser Engineering or something like that. Sweden or something like
Denmark or
that.
somewhere.
Yeah. And he buys a boatload of turbos through Holden.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Holden calls me every time, and every time I'm like, okay, because it sucks to get the
Yeah.
shipping quote
Yep,
for it,
absolutely.
But yeah, he buys a
Absolutely,
ton
yeah.
of Borg turbos.
Yeah. So
It's awesome.
yeah. So, and with the help of great guys like I think Jason
Matthew.
Tinkler. Was that Matt just
Yeah.
walked in?
He's
So
my cornhole
so Matt, come on in here, bud.
Come on in here, guys.
We're just hanging out. You want to sit down? You can.
Sit down.
So Matt is the
You have to
oddball
speak
with
loud.
the X3.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, slide on in here, guy.
Here's the
Get on in
oddball.
here. We'll get comfy.
Yeah, we'll slide
we'll
over a
get
little
snuggly.
bit.
You'll have to stick your mouth right up by Sterling's mouth
yeah.
to get
Yeah, you're
by
gonna
the
need to get in
microphone.
So we kind of have this culture that we've developed over the years that I feel is a pretty decent culture. I mean, Matt's been with us for almost 10 years.
Yep. 10 years almost.
He started out sweeping the floors, answering like random phone calls.
Sticky notes.
Just
That's all it is.
absolutely, which
Nice.
is freaking awesome. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's great.
And to come from where we came from, which is this very small mom and pop, to I think we have 25 employees now between ownership and everybody else that works here. It's not like a small thing anymore.
No, yeah.
But
I'll tell you what, though. I've spent a bit of time in your
You
shop.
have, absolutely.
One thing that I like about your place
Mm-hmm.
is that it feels small. Not the building itself,
Yeah.
but the people do. A lot of times you get into a bigger company like that, and it feels very corporate.
Corporate, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't
Yep.
feel like that
Yeah.
at your guys' place.
we've
you know?
tried to keep it as far from corporate as possible. I mean, that's the last thing that we want.
Right.
We have beer at 3:00 if we want. I mean, that's just part of the culture. It's
Yeah.
just, hey, we
Work hard, play hard.
We do 100%. And that's what we're doing here. Like work hard, play hard. We've worked really hard the last several years building relationship with you guys, with a lot of other people, and I kind of feel like it works. It works for what we want to do. It works for the people that work for us. I mean, we treat everybody like family as far as, I mean, as much as I can, 100%.
Definitely. And we feel that.
Well, I
We
mean,
all feel like we're.
you know, these guys would show up at our shop and they'd be like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're going to dinner, going to my house, we're going to go on the boat, we're going to go razor ride, we're going to, you know, go shoot guns, we're
Yep.
going to do something. I mean, that's the way we've tried to treat everybody. I mean, we screw up. You know, we're a company, we're people, we screw up orders. You know, but we try
Some human error.
so much
There's always human error.
to make it the best experience for the customer that we can. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's exciting to me to go to work every day. You know, we get up in the morning, we do our thing. It's a lot of creative that happens. I mean, if you look at the marketing aspect that happens every day. I mean, I walk into Matt's little cubicle, right?
My zone.
And he's got 3 screens up, and it's got a T-shirt design. It's got a new, you know, magazine ad.
We
It's
won't
got
tell you what else is on the third screen.
Yeah,
It
you
might
don't
be
wanna
it
know
might
right
be
there.
Pornhub,
Yeah.
right? On the third screen, you know, it's some lotion and some tissues. You know, that might be Matt's. Add a little bottle of Jägermeister. You know what I mean? A little top it up.
Yeah.
But
I think the market likes it in general, though. Just watching your videos, very informative. Like, you talk about the product,
Oh, there went our light, but
it's very specific. You do a great job, and it's fun. Like, people
Well,
can
and
relate to it.
and it's embracing. It's not you watch some videos that are out there, whether it's this industry or not this industry,
yeah.
and you watch the first 12 seconds of it, and you're like, done. And
My-
then you
my
keep
light
going.
died.
Well, we
Your guys'
We'll go
stuff
in the
keeps
dark.
you.
It'll be all right.
It
Keep talking.
attracts you to it. You know,
we
you
kind of
want
want to
watch it.
We want to have fun. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a reality.
And my first
I-
handful of videos might have been that way because it was like so much information. It was like half of it was on a teleprompter, half was kind of notes and kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
And now it's like, who wants to really watch?
No,
I'm
nobody
bored.
does.
I'm bored
Yeah,
doing
absolutely,
these
yeah.
videos, and so
Yeah.
Right. If you're bored doing them.
yeah.
Yeah, then everybody else is
You know,
going to
so
be.
it's just applicable.
So
whole thing.
it's
I'm gonna mess
the-
up. I'm gonna stutter. I'm gonna like, shit. I didn't mean to say that. I meant this.
Well, it's like what you and I did, because you and I spent like 5 hours a month and a half ago,
Yep.
and we did 4 or 5 videos.
Yep.
And that's one thing that you told me at the beginning. You're like, dude, if you stumble or do something like that, just roll with it, because it's
Human.
It's
human
real.
error. Yeah,
it's real.
It's a real.
that's
video.
why I wanted to do these, because
It's a
I don't
conversation.
want to
Well,
cut
this
anything
is
out.
the-
This
it's-
is real.
This is a real conversation.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, I have nothing to hide. I mean, we've,
Yeah.
gone through everything from the best times to Inc. 500, like top fastest growing retail companies in the world, to having all of our SEO taken away, at like 1 month. It was like 2013. I'm like, what happened? You know what I mean?
What are we gonna do?
To
Yeah.
to now dealing with, EPA and, all the other shit that happens in the diesel industry. I mean, this is kind of what we do.
Yeah.
You
Tell
know?
me, do you remember your first interaction with industrial injection and what that was?
Well, my first interaction was kind of interesting. It was actually pre-Matt, pre-anybody else. 2006 was at Weekend on the Edge. And I remember seeing Brady and Brett and probably you and your brother walk in with these 2006 high horsepower trucks, right?
600 horsepower.
Yeah, they were making big power, like I think
They
700-ish.
made 815,
815?
and at that time it was.
Cody remembers
shaky.
distinctively.
Right.
It was what?
It surprised us. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how far it came so quick.
Yeah, I mean 815. It was a 5.9 truck. It had a big turbo or compounds on it. I don't remember.
It had compounds on it,
Yeah.
but we actually went up to Bandamere and ripped off the first 12. It was like 12.8
Yeah.
mile.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Wow!
Mhm.
Like, what did you guys do?" It had a big 6-inch lift and 35.
It did. I remember this truck. Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "What just happened?"
I think I made 400 horsepower on an Edge Hot Juice with a fast pump. You know what I mean? Like that was big power back in those days. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's cool. But from that start to where we're at now with guys making 25. What did Baca make on the dyno? It's like
He's made
He's-
2570. He still holds the horsepower record.
Yeah, it's like 2517 or something like
Derek
that.
Rose just hit a huge torque number.
Torque
so
3,700 foot-pounds, right?
Yeah.
That was what it was, 3,715.
Yeah,
Something like
so
that,
it was a
yeah.
big torque number.
2,535 or 3,700.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that 12, 13 years ago, the biggest truck at an event was 800 horsepower.
Absolutely, 1,000
And-
horse was like,
And now you go to something like UCC, and if you don't break 2,000 horsepower, you know, you
yeah, it's like,
Go away.
I'm just like, oh, he only made 1,895
yeah,
horsepower.
Yeah, now even 5 years ago, if
Like,
you made
what?
1,500 horsepower, you were the big guy at the show, you know. And now it's like, oh, it only made
Made 1,500? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, did he tow his
Yeah.
camper here with it? Like,
Right,
is that what he's
yeah.
using it for? Is that his tow truck?
Yeah.
Well, you
It's,
look at the industry, and there's the Dodges and Duramaxes. Yeah, they're banging 2,000 for the last 2 or 3 years. But now we got some Fords, like in the older,
Yep.
the 6.0s,
yep.
7.3s, starting to
Yeah,
get
make
with that
big
5,000
horse.
mark.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, there were. Was
what
it
did-
Warren? Was
what
that
did
who it
Warren
was?
make?
Like
19?
1,900?
Out of a freaking 6
Yeah,
liter?
6.0. I mean, that was
Crazy.
spectacular.
That just
It's
tells you
impressive.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
passions in the market, and there's a lot
There's
of
a-
innovative
There
going
is.
on.
Yellow 6-liter at your guys' shop, I don't even know how many years ago that broke 1,000.
Yeah.
And that was huge. back
Yeah,
then.
that was a big deal.
Anyone can, like if you put enough time and energy.
Yeah, and there's. I mean, you think about the machine work that has to happen in the motor, the pistons, rods,
Drivetrain to hold
the
it, you
head
know?
work that has to happen to move all that air out. You know what I mean?
Balancing the fuel
The
air ratio,
turbochargers that
the-
go into that, the intercooling, it's crazy. I mean, to
There's
think
a
where
lot
this
of-
where
lot of
this
pieces
industry
to
has
that puzzle.
gone in 10 years. I mean, from an 800 horsepower truck
Yeah.
to a 1,900 horsepower 6-liter,
Right.
which like,
Crazy.
you know, I mean, it's pretty amazing. You know,
It
it's
is.
a cool industry to be in, be involved in.
How
yeah.
much room for growth is there still?
Still growth. I mean, there's the cool part about this industry is you've got a lot of younger kids, younger guys that are, 18, 20, 22 years old that are buying third and fourth hand trucks, right? They have 200,000 miles on them. But they're not satisfied with the horsepower, they're not satisfied with the way they run. They're still putting money in these trucks. They're still buying injectors, they're still buying turbos, they're still, putting transmissions in them, they're still fuel systems. I mean, and they want to make a big number, you know what I mean? So
They
and
would
they're
buy
and,
those
and,
trucks
and
at
they're
15
expensive.
grand
They're
now.
inexpensive now. You know what I mean? Like they're affordable.
Well, just
And
the
they
sport,
last-
The
yeah.
sport and the leagues and the competition, like this, gaining a lot of traction. There's small leagues all over the country, and people are very passionate about diesels in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And I mean, we have now my truck, which is completely emissions intact,
Compliant.
makes 525 horsepower. It'll tow a 43-foot camper, 8 hours.
How many
Gets-
times did
gets-
you put DEF in it?
There's none.
I didn't have to at all.
Probably just
Oh.
before you left.
I saw a picture on Facebook.
Well, that was Jason's
That was Jason's
truck.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jason's truck.
Yeah, it was Jason's truck. But that had just came back from UCC
Okay.
from pulling our display trailer out, right? And that trailer weighs probably 14,000 pounds
Yeah.
and pulls like a brick shit house, right? Like
Round
it is
trip, 4,000 miles.
it is not a and did awesome. I mean that they were averaging like 8.5 miles to the gallon. Had no issues with the vehicle. It's got a Banks Derringer on it. It's got their exhaust and intake. It's pretty well dialed in.
And it's an L5P.
It's an L5P, yeah. It's 2017 Denali. Now 40,000 miles on it.
Yeah, just turned 40 went on that trip.
It has had no sensors replaced.
Nope.
Has not had a DPF or SCR or any of the emissions
starting to
equipment.
get it figured
Yeah, they're getting it figured out. Absolutely.
Tuning's been way advanced.
Yeah, the
now.
two. Yeah. And
How's your generation on your particular filters? Does it generate more, regenerate?
no,
more?
it actually
It's different. His is
it's
different than mine.
And keep the heat up,
my
too.
so coming down here, I had one regen the entire time in the
10 hours.
8 hours that I was driving, but it was
That's impressive.
close to
That is
10, right?
impressive, yeah.
So it had one regen, and the only reason why it had one regen was because it had 7.5 soot grams before it ever started pulling a trailer, right? So it regened for 25 minutes between, I don't know, Coeur d'Alene and Kellogg, Idaho.
Continue.
Did you just
And-
have to restart
Yeah, restart.
Break.
And we're back.
We're back.
it? We're back.
So,
So jump back to Las Vegas.
no. So Las Vegas.
We can't cut it off right there. We're having too good of a conversation. So this has
lost
to be
my
our
place.
longest one yet. Yeah,
You were talking about electric.
we're
Yeah.
talking
Well, I
about.
mean, electric is cool. I mean, there's still carbon emissions that are emitted from the production of electricity that goes in, and I think people and the batteries and the whole process that goes in. So when
That's even
this kind of
way
pisses me off, this whole zero emission shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's no such thing.
there's no such thing. I mean, what happened to the emissions that went into making the batteries, to shipping all the material that went
And
across
that's
to make
not
that?
saying
You
that
know?
you don't agree with
I don't.
progress.
No, I don't disagree at all. Like,
Yeah.
progress is good.
But to call it
zero,
zero emissions
yeah, like
car, it's not the case.
I don't believe that's the case. But with the trucks we have now, I mean, Matt, we were just at UCC, and you guys helped out with it with injectors.
60 horsepower D-Fly.
Yeah.
60 horsepower
So they're
D5,
D-Fly injectors. They're the truck has compound turbos on it now, belt transmission, fuel system, dual fuelers. Should make 650 horsepower with
That's a
all of
conservative
the
number.
emissions
Very
intact,
intact.
right?
Yes.
Like the perfect tow rig. Turn it down to 525 horsepower. It'll pull a trailer for days, never get hot.
With that setup, you should be able to, like you said, tune it for 550, and just set the cruise.
Yeah,
wherever
absolutely.
You want to
100. Yeah, 100%.
Great
So,
tow truck. Yeah,
Yeah.
And if you want to turn it up a little, play it, you can.
you can,
Yeah.
It's still there.
So
and it's still reliable.
I'm excited about seeing where this industry goes.
Yeah.
In the future. I mean, there's a lot of room to be had. There's just a little bit more work that has to go into it.
Yep.
Right. It's not
Right.
it's not like it was, like you said.
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. It's a little
not
bit different,
like
right?
selling the crack of the diesel.
Yeah,
industry.
No,
It's
and
not
I-
like
I-
dealing tuna crack in the.
No, I don't want
in
to.
the
Regulars anymore.
terrible Hearst parking lot like
No, I know, right? Like, who does that?
you did, and it worked
Right?
out
It
for
did.
you.
It did all right.
We were
Like,
talking about it 30
it did-
minutes ago.
I know who does that, but there's a lot to be said about the industry, the enthusiasts that are still here, the people that are still coming on board, and there's a long life in this industry.
Yeah.
Diesel's not going anywhere.
Well, people saying that the industry's dying. I don't know if you guys will know this number. How many people were at Ultimate Call Out Challenge this year? And spectators.
I don't know. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
We have not got a number from James yet, but I'm
We've gotten a rough number.
he said it was up from last year.
So it was 30% up.
So
30% up.
I don't know.
but we also had rain and people were, so it was a little bit different than the year before where it was like rain for part of a day and the last day.
Yeah.
Right.
This time it was rain for 2 almost straight days.
Yeah.
Set up.
It was kind of a bummer for spectators. I've kind of felt bad for that. And the
Time to
competitors
change the
too.
location, James.
I've talked to him about it. Texas, maybe, I don't know.
Las Vegas.
Vegas would be
Vegas,
cool.
yes.
Vegas would be
You wouldn't want to
cool.
go to Vegas, right?
Right? Yeah.
That'd be a rough event.
It would be.
It would be.
SEMA's rough enough, right?
So
No.
let's switch gears a little bit again. I know you have some funny stories. Funny stories about the Williams. You've had some crazy stories.
Well,
with them.
I don't know, about 8 years ago-ish, I think. We had about 6 of us. 2 different trucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good time. So drove down after work
Yeah, we
late.
took off 5 o'clock on a Friday night. What's you guys is like solid 12 hours. I wanna
Yeah,
say.
it's a long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
It's a trek.
Yeah, we were gonna swing by the Williams house there. Brady was gonna leave a trailer unlocked for us to go in and sleep because he knew he was gonna.
His
roll in
toy hauler
early.
was sitting to the side of the house.
Well,
Did not
he didn't
leave it
show up,
unlocked.
So he didn't leave it unlocked. So yeah, we We got there about 5 in the morning or something like that, and all doors were locked, so we end up sleeping in the grass in the front yard. In a nice community, you know.
Yeah, so they slept on the driveway basically
Yeah.
of the Williams house.
I remember.
I think Brady walked out and was like
Yeah, he opened the
with a
garage.
coffee cup in his hand, like
Had no
there's
idea.
alligators in the driveway. I think is what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys want some Pop Tarts? So we went inside and had coffee and Pop Tarts.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yep. That was a
Um,
long weekend, yeah, because we had 12 hours obviously there. Well, worked the 10-hour day, 12-hour drive.
Yeah,
Didn't really get more than a half hour sleep, maybe that much in the grass in
Yeah.
the driveway. Got up, had Pop Tarts and coffee, and then headed to Industrial to do the event that day.
was that Cinco de Dino?
Yeah,
was that
that
what
was
it was?
Cinco
Cinco
de
de
Dino
Dino.
That
Yeah.
would have been one of the first
Yep.
Yeah.
Cinco de Dinos.
Did the Dino Day all day that day, and then went back to somebody's house. I think it was.
It was Brady's house that night. Yeah.
And partied all night.
Oh, we
thing.
did. Yeah.
And then
Nice.
got up. I fell asleep for like 3 hours, and then got back up, and because I was one of the drivers of the truck, one of the trucks, and drove all the way back home.
You have some pictures of your truck from that event, don't
I
you?
do, yeah.
You were kind of like parked halfway into
That
like a
was-
little
Little
creek
deal, yeah.
type
That was
deal.
my stack days. And
yeah, it was. It
It was
was
pretty
total
rough.
stack days. Yeah.
Pretty rough. You look
Had
back
those
at
two
those days, like,
6-inch MVRP stacks
Yeah.
sticking out of his bed.
Yeah. And
Right.
you're rocking an 8-inch lift with 37s on stock rims or some
Mhm.
shit like that.
On stock
Oh,
rims.
I bet it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh,
Nice.
man. Look back at those days is
Yeah, it was
Right on.
pretty awesome. I believe there was a little bit of another story within this story about somebody who had they had a shit in a
I shit my
plastic
pants.
bag.
Yeah,
Was it?
No, so we had another guy, Vinny, and yeah.
So Vinny Himes, who works for Leadfoot,
yeah, worked for us for a few years
Yeah.
there, and yeah, it was him, a couple of the other guys. and
Scott,
everything.
I
Yeah, and they
believe.
were in a vehicle in his, at the time, pretty beastie Cummins. It was
Yeah.
700-800 horsepower back
Yeah.
then, and pretty well known.
had a
And,
silver 66 on it, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Towed all over the place.
Yep.
with it.
Yep.
But yeah, they were in front of us, and someone had to take a shit, and shit into a Ziploc bag or grocery bag, and decided it'd be a good idea. I'm behind him just driving. I see this Walmart bag splash right in front of my fucking truck.
But not on the truck.
Not on the truck, fortunately.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
just shit everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That
That
was
was probably midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
that was pretty cool.
Good times. Well, on that note, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, it's time
I
for a
think
night
we
ride.
I think we have to go
Yeah.
play another game of cornhole real quick.
Cornhole and then razor riding
And then
again
it's
Cornhole and
razor
razor
riding.
with the side of X3.
With a side of X3.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
No rolling.
No rolling. It's a
No.
roll.
No.
No, we're good.
No
All right.
snapping belts, no rolling.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.